Rimuru, the New Beginning as Primordial Demon Violet by Veldanava God. Chapter 1. The unrelenting Violet Demon. For a century, the once peaceful underworld had been shaken by a new chaotic force, an unnamed demon of terrifying strength and cruelty. The being who once was Rimuru Tempest had fused with Ultima, the primordial Violet Demon, creating a battle-hungry fiend that sought out destruction, pain, and most of all, challenging opponents. However, in the infernal plane, few could match her power. The lesser demons and greater demons fell one after another, serving only as fleeting distractions, their cries of pain and fear filling her ears like sweet music. It wasn't enough, she needed more. The primordial Violet, a twisted smile always on her lips, wandered through the vast landscapes of the demon world, her aura radiating death and destruction wherever she went. Her mind, or what remained of it, constantly sought out stronger foes, and there was only one real target left: the other primordial demons. Finally, after decades of roaming and terrorizing the underworld, she found her mark. Before her stood Jaune, the primordial yellow, an embodiment of elegance and deadly power. The meeting between the two demons would shape the balance of power among the primordials forever. Jaune, 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 Violet said, her voice dripping with mockery. She stood a few meters away, violet flames flickering around her fingers. You've been hiding from me, haven't you? All these lesser demons and greater demons couldn't stop talking about you. I've come a long way just for you. Jaune, calm and composed, watched Violet with a frown. The primordial yellow demon had heard rumors about the chaos caused by the demoness who once was Rimuru. She had heard of the endless torture and the sadistic pleasure Violet took in her victims' suffering. Hiding? No, Violet, I simply had no interest in entertaining your tantrums. Jaune's voice was sharp, unyielding. She held no weapon, relying instead on her precise control of demonic energy. But since you've come all this way, I'll grant you your wish. A battle with me. Just don't cry when it ends too soon. Violet's eyes sparkled with excitement, her bloodlust filling the air. Oh, Jaune, you misunderstand. I'm not here to fight you to the death, at least not yet. I'm here for something far more fun. I want to see you suffer, to see that elegant mask of yours crumble as I tear you apart. Slowly. Without warning, Violet dashed forward with terrifying speed, her claws coated in a deadly, venomous flame. Jaune dodged with finesse, and the ground beneath them shattered from the sheer force of the attack. A shockwave rippled across the barren landscape, disintegrating everything around them. The battle had begun. For hours, the two primordials clashed. Violet fought with wild, unpredictable strikes, her laughter echoing through the air as she toyed with Jaune. Her love for chaos was evident in every movement. She didn't want a quick victory, she wanted to draw this out, to savor the struggle. Jaune, for her part, fought with elegance and poise, her energy forming barriers, slicing waves of power, and deflecting attacks with precise counters. But even she began to feel the strain as Violet's relentless attacks grew in ferocity. For all her power, Jaune couldn't help but notice how much stronger Violet had become, how much her sadism fueled her energy. You're starting to get tired, aren't you, Jaune? Violet taunted mid-strike, dodging a piercing energy wave and countering with a blazing kick to Jaune's side. I can feel it. You can't hide it from me. Your beautiful little composure is cracking. Jaune grunted, pain shooting through her body, but she stood her ground. Your madness will be your downfall, Violet, she spat, sending a surge of energy toward Violet, who laughed and twisted through the air, dodging it with ease. Madness? Oh no, Jaune. This is pure ecstasy. I haven't felt alive like this in centuries. She slammed her hand down, sending a shockwave that knocked Jaune off her feet. Before the yellow demon could recover, Violet was upon her, her claws digging into Jaune's arms, pinning her down. For a moment, the battlefield was still. Jaune glared up at Violet, her golden eyes burning with defiance. You think this is over? She hissed, attempting to break free from Violet's grip. Violet leaned in close, her violet eyes glowing with a twisted delight. Oh, it's far from over, Jaune. Her voice dropped to a whisper, dripping with venom. I haven't even begun the fun part. Violet's flames shifted into a dark, viscous liquid, seeping into Jaune's skin. Jaune's eyes widened as she realized what was happening. It was Violet's most sadistic weapon. Her demonic venom, designed to torture its victim for as long as she willed. Jaune screamed as the venom began to course through her veins, igniting every nerve in her body with unbearable pain. Violet let out a laugh, relishing the sound of Jaune's agony. Yes, scream for me. That's what I wanted, your elegance, your pride. Let's see how long they last while I break you down piece by piece. Violet's voice was dripping with ecstasy, her lips curling into a smile of pure sadism. Jaune struggled against the restraints, but the venom weakened her body. You won't break me, she growled through gritted teeth, her body trembling from the overwhelming pain. Violet tilted her head, her smile growing wider. Oh, Jaune, it's adorable that you still think that. She stood, dragging Jaune's body with her by the arm, before throwing her against the jagged rocks nearby. For the next week, the infernal plains echoed with Jaune's tortured screams. Violet visited her every day, injecting her with more venom, warping her pain into twisted pleasure. Day 5, Jaune. How's it going? Still holding on? Violet teased, her claws dragging across Jaune's skin as she infused her with more venom. Jaune, barely able to hold herself together, glared at Violet, her defiance still flickering in her eyes. I won't give you the satisfaction, Jaune whispered, her voice hoarse from days of screaming. Violet giggled, leaning in close once again. But you already have, my dear. Every second of your suffering is my reward. Jaune could barely move, her body broken and ravaged by Violet's venom. Yet even now, even as she felt her consciousness slipping, she refused to let Violet break her spirit. Finally, on the 7th day, Violet stood over Jaune's shattered form, her sadistic grin still in place. You've done well, Jaune. I'll give you that. She knelt down, her fingers brushing against Jaune's cheek. But now, it's time for the grand finale. As Violet raised her hand to deliver another surge of venom, she hesitated. Something flickered in her eyes, a brief moment of contemplation. She lowered her hand. You know, Jaune, you've proven yourself more resilient than I expected. Violet paused, her expression changing from one of pure sadism to something more thoughtful. I think I'd rather keep you around for a bit longer. Jaune, barely able to lift her head, looked up in surprise. What are you saying? Violet grinned, stepping back and crossing her arms. I'm saying you've earned my respect. How about this? Instead of dying, you become my sparring partner. Jaune blinked, confused. Your sparring partner? That's right. Someone to fight when I'm bored, someone who can handle a good beating and still come back for more. Violet's eyes gleamed with excitement. It'll be fun, don't you think? Jaune stared at Violet for a long moment, trying to process the offer. Despite everything, despite the torture and the venom, she could see that Violet was serious. With a sigh, Jaune slowly nodded. Fine. I'll be your sparring partner, Violet. But don't think this means I'll go easy on you next time. Violet's smile widened. Good. I wouldn't have it any other way. And so, the rivalry between the Primordial Violet and the Primordial Yellow took on a new form. No longer enemies bound by hatred, they became something more. A twisted partnership forged in battle, pain, and mutual respect. The underworld would never be the same again.